welcome to Keeping It 100, the Coach Jones Show. How you doing this morning, Coach?
Doing great. Coming off BTB week, and I'm excited. You know, our kids are showing that they could be a consistent program and continue to do the things they need to do to be a top program in the state. So it's exciting to see us continue to grow as a staff and as a community and as a program.
Well, Coach, that's another big win. Del City Eagles over the Middle City Bombers was at 29-6, improving their record to 5-1, 3-0 in district.
Yes,
you got to be feeling good about that. You know, put yourself in the front runner. You know, to play for a district championship. I know you're not looking ahead. We say this every week, but it has to feel good to beat one of the top teams. You know, Middle City Bombers. I know they're not as good as they have been, but it's still a top-notch program with Coach Hall, a guy that's won a couple state championships.
Yes,
here you are as a first-year head coach,
yes,
knocking off a guy like that. I mean, you got to feel good about that. But also, like I said, putting yourself in the front runner for a district championship, and I'd say, you know, moving to, 3-0 in district. So, kind of tell us a little bit about the game, how it went.
Well, we knew going into the game it was going to be a physical type ball game. The style of offense that they run, you know, they want to control the clock. They want to limit your possessions, and then their defense is good. You know, their defense this year they've been holding teams 20 points underneath their average. So we knew coming into the game that their defense was going to be great. And Coach K was our defensive line coach last year here at Del City, and he's their defensive coordinator now. And we knew what he brought to the table as a coach. So they were well prepared. And the offense, you know, they have that quarterback who's quick, he's agile, he makes plays, and then they have some guys and a receiver that can make plays. So we knew what type of ball game it would be, and then you add the rivalry with it. Being Midwest City and Del City is one of the best rivalries in the state, so we knew what type of ball game it was going to be. We came out, and it was a slugfest. You know, we were going back and forth. They made us punt a couple times, and like you said last week, Virgil. You know, you say if they had a Heisman candidate or had a Heisman for Oklahoma High School, he would be up there with the top guys.
Right there with him.
He'd be right there with Presley from Bixby. He stepped up. You know, he made a big play in the Plastic game, and Kanaja did a good job getting open and doing a good job getting in the end zone. So that kind of propelled us to where we need to be. And then we created some turnovers with the defense, and we got ahead of them 27-0 at halftime. We were able to keep that lead and control the clock and be able to get out of there with the W.
Well, Coach, and one thing you haven't said, though, you knock off Middle City, you knock off Carl Iver, that makes you what?
Mid-Del champs.
Mid-Del champs. You know, I know you had a bunch of alumni guys at the game.
Yes,
Paul Durham was at the game.
Yes,
Z. Williams, guys that played here at Del City,
yes,
went off and did big things. Paul, I think you guys might have played college ball at Oklahoma State. Z. Rose for OU. So it's good to have those alumni guys coming back, supporting you, and giving you the recognition that you need as a head coach. And I mean, that's good to have these. Like I said, it's always good when your alumni come back. And and I know those guys are kind of on Facebook. I get to see Durham every Saturday. You know, me and his brother coach together. But just to see those guys come back and support you. I know this week you got PC North. They're coming off a tough loss to Lawton, 33-28. They're sitting at 2-3, 0-2 in district. I know it's a guy, one of those games that, hey, we're going and we take care of business, we can win, but you got to be prepared for them because they still got a couple players over there. So what are you expecting from PC North, going over to PC North too?
Well, starting off with the alumni, yeah, it's great to have people like Paul Doran and, Brian Tapley. I can go on and on about the friendships that I have, that people who were former Eagles. It's important to keep your alumni involved, and prior to the Midwest City Week, they've been supporting me all year.
Yes, sir.
They even supported me to get the job. So Paul was a big influence on me getting this job. And I always told him that I was going to turn Del City around and I was going to point Del City in the right direction.
Yes, sir.
And I was going to do it with character. When I was in Texas, me and Paul had a conversation 5 years ago, and I said, if I get there and we get the job, me and Dunn, the first thing I'm going to attack is character. Because I knew this area, I knew what type of kids this community had. I just knew they needed somebody to guide them and lead them in the right direction. So Paul had a big influence on me getting the job, and it was good to be able to reward him with the satisfaction of being able to beat Carl Albert in Midwest City for the first time in school history.
Yes, sir.
We have never beat both teams in school history, so anytime you can make history, that's a testament to the community, the teachers, the principals, the coaching staff, and the players. It's a lot of people that's involved in making that history, so that's a big thing. As far as PC North, they're a great team. Their record doesn't show who they are as a program. They've been consistently winning for the last 10 years. You could arguably say on this side of Oklahoma, they've been the best 6A team the last 10 years. So they have great talent. They got an OSU commit at defensive end who runs around and makes a lot of plays, and they got a lot of talent on offense as well. They got players that can really do some harm to you. So we're looking at it like we always do. We got to focus on ourselves. We got to limit the penalties. We got to create turnovers and not turn the ball over ourselves. And I think we'll be in a situation to be successful.
That's good. This week's a short week. It's fall break. The kids get kind of excited for fall break because, a couple days out of school. But like I said, it also kind of shorten your practice too. You go from playing Friday night, then you play this Thursday night, and then you have to travel to PC North, which is not a big travel, but, get yourself prepared for the game. Like I said, this is a big showdown this Friday night because I think next week, and I know I keep hunching you about it, but next week I think it's going to come down to being the district championship, you and Deer Creek. I think it's going to come down to you guys. I think they surprised some people and put up some points, and they're starting to show, hey, we're contender. But I know you have the guys ready for this week and next week. But, going into the offense, man, like you said, you talked about Virgil Gates, man. The guy's been putting up big numbers, in the running game. Last week he was 5 for 10 for 104 yards, 1 TD, 50%. Man, that's what you can ask for a high school quarterback to do that. He kind of moved the ball around, like I said, throwing the ball, but also on the running game, he was 16 for 60 with 2 TDs. Then you had Ethan Lawrence, he had 12 carries for 74 yards, averaging 7.4 yards a carry. I mean, that's good for a high school kid, especially against a good team, like you said, Midway City. They got a bunch of great athletes. Then you had Jason Smith that had, 12 carries for 53 yards. So that puts your total yards, 40 carries for 187 yards. I mean, granted, it ain't been like your other games of 300 yards, but going against a good Midway City team that, like you said, a guy that knows your program that went against you, I know you got to feel good about what you guys did on offense.
Absolutely. Coming into the game, I think we got spoiled a little bit. We've been averaging over 300 yards rushing. So when you look at that stat line, I think we had 187 total yards. You kind of say, dang, they had a down game, but that's a tough team. That team is tough, and Coach K does a great job. And coming to a game, you can kind of tell that they wanted to take away our running game. And like I said last week, people underestimate Virgil's ability to go over the top and to hit open receivers and to be able to stay in the pocket to be disciplined as a passer. So they wanted to take away our running game. They made an emphasis on that, and we took advantage of the things they gave us. Kanigel had some great catches. He caught a post route, I believe, for 57 yards for a touchdown. That kind of opened up the gates. Then he caught a 33-yard pass over the middle, a seam route to keep us going into halftime. So and Ethan played well as well. He dropped a touchdown pass. I liked the way he responded and came back and continued to play hard. And when things were kind of tight and they were kind of stuffing our run game, Jason got in there and he used his bruising and physical style to continue to get us first downs and continue to keep that momentum going. So there's going to be games like that where we're not going to have 400 yards rushing. Yeah. But when you still get close to 200 yards rushing, that's a successful night. And the most important thing is we put up points. That's the goal for us. We want to put up points. Regardless of what the stat line says, points are what matter. Points are what win you games. I always say this, and I know it's a cliche thing to keep saying, but anytime we can score 27 points,
that's true.
I feel very confident on our chances to win. Our defense is playing lights out as well. Right now in district, our defense are giving up 4 points a game. So anytime you're giving up 4 points a game, that speaks for itself, but that's telling the offense all we need to do is put up a touchdown. We're going to be successful.
We're going to win the ball game, yeah.
They gave up 7 points to Stillwater, 6 points to Midway City, and 0 points to Northwest. So we're moving in the right direction defensively, and then our offense is capitalizing on the turnovers, capitalizing on the extra possessions. So I really like the way our team is moving right now in the right direction, and I'm excited about getting after this week as well.
Everybody talks about Kanigel on the defensive side of the ball, but I guess last weekend he showed people, hey, I can catch the ball too on the offensive side of the ball. He had 2 catches for 86 yards, like I said, 57-yard TD, and then you had Jason Smith, the other running back, the main focus is linebacker, but he had 2 catches for 12 yards. And Jaden Form, the big tight end, the big defensive end, had 1 catch for 6 yards. And you're just not getting these guys going. I mean, so you start adding Jaden Form, and then you got Kanigel, that guy that, like you said, that that it broke open. I would say had his breakout offensive game.
Absolutely.
Last week. But moving forward. Now people got to wonder about, man, when this kid comes in the game, what's he going to do? And like you said, Ethan Lawrence was like a receiver last year that's playing running back. And you ain't even put him out there in a receiving spot yet. So there's a lot of things you can do. But, you talk about that defense. That defense has been, I was looking at the stats, and I'm thinking, man, it's crazy how many guys get to the ball. You had Jason Smith, he had 4 tackles, 1 sack. A. Carter had 5 tackles, 1 sack. D. Hampton, 6 tackles, 1 sack. You had a total of 17 tackles for loss. Eagles defense, had 4 sacks altogether. But that just, as you as a defensive coordinator, what are you thinking? Seriously.
Well, starting off in the spring, I knew me getting this head coaching job, I had to get a guy that was similar to me, who have the energy that I bring and the discipline that I bring. And not only that, the mentorship and friendships and relationship that I built with the players. I knew how to get somebody that was capable of doing that. And Nino Williams has done a great job. He has brought our defense, he has elevated us, and I thought that would be difficult with the standard that we set up to this point with me being here. But he has taken us to new heights, and he has put in schemes and things that are helping our kids even be more successful. He's created more turnovers. He's creating difficult schemes for people to plan for. You know, I was a little bit more basic, more tough rounder, you know, and I was going to do some things and be real basic, but he's bringing more things to the table, you know. Our tackles for loss are amazing. Every game, our guys are in the backfield.
Yes, they are.
Every game, our guys are getting hits on the quarterback. You know, that was our plan going into the game. We knew he was shifty. We knew that he was elusive, but we knew he lacked in size, and we wanted to take advantage of that. And I feel like we got some hits on him. We created him. We created a fumble that we got some points off of, and we got an interception as well. So. I think we had 3 turnovers and we had 17 points off those. So
yes.
That was huge because the game was going back and forth. It was one of those type of rivalry games. We fumbled, they created a turnover on our end. So our defense was able to get that game moving in the right direction. I'm just excited to see Coach Williams and that side of the ball to continue to grow. I think he's going to continue to do things and continue to show that he's the top defensive coordinator in the state. You said it last week. You said we've got the best defense in 6A, and we're showing it. Anytime you can give up 4 points a game, regardless of what level it's on, that shows how amazing your defense is playing. That shows that your coaches are doing what they need to do to get the players prepared and be successful on Fridays.
Well, like I said, I think this guy had an interception last year. Is that Brian? How did I pronounce? I'm gonna make sure.
Braylon Adama.
Adama?
Yes.
He had an interception last week. It's another one this week, man. It just shows you what.
He also had one versus Bishop McGinnis as well.
So I mean, the last 3 weeks, this guy's had 3 picks. I mean,
Yes.
and that's good. I mean, and one has that quarterback thinking, hey man, and when you're sitting there looking at film, you're like, hey, don't throw his way, man. I mean, it's kind of like old Diggs from the Dallas Cowboys.
That's crazy.
You know what I'm saying? 'Cause, I mean, just I
was
you
just
get
thinking
yeah.
that.
I mean,
Yes.
it just shows you what you guys are tough on defense and offense. And I tell you, I know we kind of harped when we talked about the passing game, but I'm telling you right now, I watched his highlights of him throwing the ball. He threw the ball good, and he could have easily took off and ran on that, coach, and probably would have scored on that. But I just tell you, man, he's turning a lot of things around, man. And like I said, this guy, young man, played running back last year.
Yes.
And switched over to quarterback and doing a great job. And one thing that he's doing real good, and I know you're proud of, he's not turning the ball over.
Absolutely.
A lot of times you get a first-year quarterback and he gets to thinking, and everybody starts throwing these different defense at him. They freak out, but this guy's playing under control and lights out, man. So, like I said, if you did have a Heisman vote, man, for high school, he'll be right there. But Coach, I know last week you had some good games, going all across the state. You guys, Midwest City, you had the Bigsby Choctaw, you had the. Which 5A really don't matter to you, but 2 teams you played, Carl Albert, Bishop McGinnis, and as you get more and more into the weeks are coming down, 4 weeks left until the season's over, until playoffs start. I know there's a game that was out there towards Choctaw that a team that you could face, either one. I mean, first round, second round. I mean, if you guys keep taking care of business, you guys are gonna finish, first in district.
Yes, sir.
But I tell you, Bigsby kind of, put the spot out like that. Hey, they're the team to beat still, though. And I know everybody talk about Dale City's defense, Bigsby offense. Coach, there'll be something to look forward to here in the next couple of weeks, and we can see that.
Absolutely. Bigsby and their tremendous program. Coach Montgomery does an awesome job. We faced them the last couple of years, and what they bring to the table as far as explosion, as far as discipline, as far as just being a well-rounded program is amazing. They're the best program in Oklahoma. And people, I don't know what it is, but they seem to forget who they are sometimes. I heard people talking about Choctaw, talking about what type of game it was going to be, and I knew it would be a great game, but Bigsby's the champion.
Yeah.
Until somebody knocks them off their crown, knocks their crown off, they're going to continue to be the champion. And I respect them a lot. I know what they bring to the table, and if we match up with them in the playoffs, we'll look forward to it. But we got to take care of business this Thursday to put us in a position to either be in the playoffs. So,
yes, sir. But
as far as looking at those type of teams, Choctaw's a great program too. And sometimes games, it's so much that go into losses and wins that we don't know what happened that game. I wasn't there, but that doesn't notify, what Choctaw's doing. Coach Corbin's doing a great job over there. He's getting those kids ready to play each and every week, and I'm pretty sure they'll bounce back this week. So both of those teams are great programs that I look at from afar, knowing that we could match up in the playoffs. And they both have high power athletes. They both have great defenses. So if we do match up in the playoffs, we look forward to it. But we got to go take care of business this week versus PC North. They're too good of a team to overlook. They have a lot of skilled players. They have a lot of pride. They have a lot of tradition, and Coach Laverty's going to do a good job getting them prepared for it. So we got to get ready for them. We had a great practice yesterday. We're healthy, which is very important at this point in time. That's another thing that I haven't spoke about a lot. That's a real testament of our strength and conditioning program. We haven't had any injuries this year. Our kids are lifting weights. We lift weights. I don't really believe in in-season lifting. I just believe in working out and lifting. So we lift the same all year round, and it has helped us out tremendously. We don't have a whole bunch of injuries. We don't have a whole bunch of bruises and treatment that we have to do on a daily basis, and that's a testament to our kids' work ethic. Also, with COVID, our kids are doing a great job wearing their masks.
Yes, sir.
They're keeping their distance in class, so we haven't had anybody out for COVID. So our kids are taking care of what they need to do out the field by hydrating, eating correctly, lifting in the weight room, and taking care of their business in the classroom and when they're at home as far as COVID and the procedures you have to do. So I'm looking forward to this matchup this week. It's another opportunity to show what kind of program we are. I always say this: if we want to be a championship program, we have to consistently go out there and beat these type of teams. We took care of business first, Carl Albert, Bishop McGinnis, Stillwater, Midwest City. Now it's another opportunity for us to face a top program who has been proven to be able to show where we're at as a program.
Well, Coach, like I said, it seems like you guys got everything going, rocking and rolling. The big win over the Mighty Bombers, a team that, has had, some state championships in the early 90s. I think Del City is on its way to, to go get their state championship. Like I said, it's fun doing this show. It's fun talking to you, watching you grow as a head coach each week, man, and just seeing what you have done with this team is amazing. I know you got to feel good about you and the staff and the players. You guys can prepare to get them ready for the games, but they got to go out there and play the games. And I know the fan support, though. I know everyone is loving what you're doing over here, and that's the most important thing, is having the parents back you and supporting you. Any shout outs you want to give players of the week this week?
Well, starting off on the offensive side of the ball, this young man, when we moved him to receiver, we wanted to have a guy that we can go over the top. I feel like we hadn't had that guy since Jeff Foreman. Anytime you got a guy who has speed, who could run past people, and you have to have another player over there to help, like you can't. After this game, I'm pretty sure that people's going to have a safety over the top, and that takes somebody out of the box and help us in the running game. So he hadn't had the big catches that we wanted him to have the last couple of weeks, and he's been patient, and that's a testament of what kind of attitude he has.
Yes.
Kanigel's been real patient. So the player of the week on the offensive side of the ball is Kanigel Thomas. He has some big catches. He's also been blocking well. And this is attitude, the attitude of not having catches for 3 or 4 weeks, and he's been open. And to be able to continue to do what you need to do and be patient, and then you get to have the success that you want versus Midwest City, your patience is rewarded. So Kanigel Thomas for our player of the week offensively. I'm excited to see him continue to move forward at that position as well. Defensively, it's a name that we're familiar with. You bring him up all the time. I don't think he's won it this year. Coach Williams let me know that he hasn't won it this year, but he's always been there. His name is there. Running backs and quarterbacks know who he is. And he always makes a big hit to get our kids riled up and get us going in the right direction. That's Jason Smith. He had another big hit. He's a 245-pound linebacker on the high school level that is a big ball of muscle. If you ever get to see him in person, you kind of know what I'm talking about. He's just making plays all around the field, I say this every week, but he's the most underrated linebacker in the state of Oklahoma. He's a Division I football player. Some colleges going to get blessed and lucky to have him. He is making plays. He's a leader. He's making the calls. He's getting kids lined up, and he keeps our morale going. He keeps the morale going. He keeps kids focused. He keeps kids energized. So I'm excited what Jason's doing, and I think he's going to continue to be better as well. Then moving on to special teams. I know I've said his name a few times, but he continues to show up and continues to let the kicking game be a threat for us, and that's Stanley Johnson. He was putting footballs in the back of the end zone all night. He made a 37-yard field goal.
That's big time.
Yeah, that's big time. And he made a 23-yard field goal as well. And he was, I believe he was 3 for 3 on extra points. So anytime you can get 9 points from your kicker, and you could be consistent, and you can have teams start off from the 20-yard line instead of the 35-yard line, that's a huge weapon. Now, I feel like that's something we haven't had in the past here. We used to pooch kick and people will get the ball on the 45, 40-yard line. So anytime you get the ball on the 40-yard line, you get 15 yards. Now you're on the other side of the field and you're in scoring position. So to be able to have teams start from the 20-yard line with our defense and what we bring to the table, he's an exceptional weapon. I'm very excited to see him continue to grow and move forward. I also want to give a shout out to the staff. The teachers at Dale City and what they're doing for our kids on a daily basis is amazing. I like to give a shout out to our custodian staff. They keep this place clean. They keep the facilities looking sharp. So I like to give a shout out to them, and I want to give a shout out to the administrators as well. They're always supporting us. They're always taking care of our kids, and the love and the care that they show is amazing. And I want to give a shout out to the community. We had a packed house this last Friday, and that played a huge role in the victory. And the parents, what you guys do on a daily basis with the kids as far as mentoring them, having them take care of their grades, and giving them the character traits to be able to help our program be successful. I'm very thankful, and I appreciate it. And also the alumni. We had a huge alumni supporting on Friday, and our kids need to see that. They need to know that a lot of great people have graduated from Dale City and went on to do great things. I feel like the media sometimes portrays Dale City in a way that it's a lot of negativity over here, but it's more positives than it is negatives in Dale City. And Dale City's moving in the right direction as a community, and we're excited as a football program to be able to use our football program to elevate the community and show people that Dale City is a great place to be.
Hey folks, it's another great show, Keeping It 100, Coach Jones Show. Before I wrap this up though, guys, get out there and start pumping this man for Coach of the Year. Look what he's doing. I know he don't want me to say this, but I'm gonna keep it 100, and that's what I do. Start pumping this guy. He is taking care of business. His team right now is sitting at what, 3-0 in district. He gets his win this Thursday night. He'll be sitting at 6-1, 4-0 in district. I mean, he got a chance. He keeps doing what he's doing, and he's doing a great job compared to what happened last year to this year. You guys had to put him out there for Coach of the Year, man. Coach Robert Jones, man, is doing a great job with the Dale City Eagles, man. Good luck, Coach, to the rest of the year, and we're gonna keep rocking and rolling this show.
Yes,
but
sir.
folks, we'll catch you next week on the next week of Keeping It 100, the Coach Jones Show. Thank you.